Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the iTunes Fanboy Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Magger from the iTunes Fanboy.
Tabby Cat 406.
And my name is Alpha Wolf.
And we are all back here again with another episode. And just clear up some things. Number one, this is a new season of TIFP, being TIFP 7 Season 4, but really, this is just a new season number like we do every year. There's really nothing different about this season. The only difference really is that next week we will have APR2K on. So, who has been on before, so that will be really exciting. And I'm just trying to plug my MacBook in so I can actually do this episode. Alright. Now I've gotten that squared away. I guess we shall get started with our first topic, which is that Tabby passed 1,000 subscribers.
Finally, after a little over 2,000 days, I believe, like 2,300 days, I finally hit 1,000. 2,581
So that's about
days,
half
so
of
a little bit more.
That's about half a subscriber every day.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
I'm sure if I put some more work into some of my earlier videos from like 2019, I would have been here a few months ago, but still, not half bad.
Yeah, I took a 2.5 year hiatus from YouTube, and now I'm back. And now I'm monetized.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I still have yet to make a single penny off of my works.
Yeah, you'll
One
be.
day you will.
Yeah, you're.
One day
yeah.
soon.
Well, in the meantime, I've decided to finally launch a Patreon. I haven't advertised it yet.
I feel like your channel,
But-
one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be at like 3,000 subscribers, just have more than any of us, because one of your videos is going to get featured by a big outlet.
It's not the first time that's happened.
You've had your videos on an outlet? Like a news outlet?
I've had one of my videos featured on Tailosive EV.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So
Got
back
a
in
shout out from him for that. And another guy who's famous in the EV space, Kyle Connor.
Kyle
let's
Connor,
just say
he's
I
nice.
guess he knows me by name.
Really?
Because he directly called me out when I joined one of his live streams. I believe he was road tripping the Model X to Texas, towing with it as well. I just joined the live stream. This was like New Year's Day. Woke up, I got nothing better to do, so I hopped on the stream and was like, "Dude, Alpha Day Wolf, did you even sleep last night or something?" He called me out by name.
Why did he?
What?
Why did he ask if he slept?
Well, I was on the previous night's stream.
Aw. That makes sense.
You know, back in 2018, I made a video water testing some old broken iPod. And one of my favorite channels at the time, Rod Studios, he makes, retrospectives on this type of stuff. He made a video on the iPod, and I was watching it one night just as I did with every one of his videos. And one of the clips from my video showed up, and I was like, no way. And a few months later, I followed him on Instagram, and he ended up liking a comment of mine or something. So I DM'd him. I'm like, "Yo, dude, thanks for the like." And we started talking a little bit later. I'm like, "Yeah, you featured one of my videos on one of your videos. I really appreciate that, man." And he followed me back. To this day, I think he unfollowed my Instagram a while ago because I did rebrand it entirely, because I don't use this Instagram for business, you could say, promotion. I use this for personal stuff, but that was crazy. I was like blown away.
Yeah, I'm surprised how evidently I'm a well-known member of communities on bigger outlets, because I've been brought up a few times on Telos's different podcasts a couple times as well.
Didn't
I guess I'm a bit infamous for one thing.
Didn't the original Tailosive channel call you, or not call you, comment on one of your videos, like the Tailosive his project channel, you know?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I thought one of his channels commented on one of your videos. I think an EV video.
I know he uses his EV account for that. He has his. The only thing on his personal account is just live stream tests, though he's learned to private those so he can only see them.
I don't mean
Though,
like the.
sometimes he'll comment with his personal account. Sometimes it'll be it Talos of EV. A couple times Talos of Tech, like on my I've thought about quitting YouTube video. That he commented on with his tech account. So
The biggest
That's
YouTuber the biggest YouTuber that I know he follows me on Twitter, and he has for I think a couple of years now, and I think he at least watches my videos, is his favorite Tech X.
Oh, that dude, I've heard of him. I think he followed
Yeah.
my Instagram when I had that, like my public.
Yeah, he still
one.
hasn't followed me on Instagram, but I have. But I've been watching his videos since 2020, and he started in 2019. So, and let me see how big favorite Tech X is now.
I also want to put that out there. I do not have any public Instagram accounts. I don't associate my channel with social media. I have a Twitter. If people want to follow it, they can. I don't use it. I don't like the platform. I
put it in. I noticed your bio. It's like, why do I even have this? Your bio description on Twitter is like, why do I even have this platform?
Yeah, and I have to put on like every one of my videos in the description. I have it automatically go. I don't have a Twitter. I don't have an Instagram. I might have gotten rid of that because I don't want people. Because there's a lot of people on like Instagram with the same general username. I don't want people thinking I'm that guy and going and messing with him. You know, asking him, well, what kind of iPhone do you recommend to someone with $300? This guy's gonna be like, why are you asking me this? I've never done anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, my main YouTube favorite Tech X Spy has 148,000 subscribers, by the way. But getting back on the current topic, my Instagram is currently associated with my YouTube channel just because it's the same username, so makes sense. And I usually don't get. And I've only had a YouTuber ask me for advice on my iPhone 4 downgrade, or just somebody DM me about that once. I usually don't have people. Usually people don't mess with my Instagram and Twitter, even though they're associated with my YouTube channel. But interestingly enough, back in June 2020, when it was only a month after I initially created my Instagram account, and there was somebody I'm not gonna. I'll put his name in the chat, but I won't explain. But I'm not gonna say who he is on this podcast. But he followed me. But he followed me on Instagram, and then he DM me. And at first, it seemed like it was legitimate, like it was the first tech person that was following me on that platform. But then he asked if want to be friends, and that is an immediate red flag. By the way, if anybody asks if you want to be friends online, always just block the person. And on YouTube, because they have hackers associated with the account, then don't even respond to those comments. Maybe you can try hiding the users,
so?
but
I usually just people used to ask me that sometimes. I was just kind of like, if you want, I don't really associate with these guys. They won't get any of my info. But I don't like to just like ignore people, so I'll usually answer something, once or twice. And if they're a cool person, I'll continue talking to them. But a lot of the times the people from Instagram, they just kind of want to talk to you, and they're not harmful, they're nice people. I haven't really met a fan from my channel who's been just like, for lack of a better word, a unfriendly fellow. But there has been
Yeah,
some
the way I
weird
deal with that stuff is
comments.
I pretty much just don't.
yeah, like I don't.
I don't know who to blame for that. Just my trust of people on the internet in general,
Yeah.
or my public school experience, which you guys already know.
Yeah, I have very
much.
low trust of people online, to the point where on my Twitter, to the point where on my Twitter and Instagram, if an account follows me and if I either don't know who the person is in real life, or if I don't know who the person is in real life or something, or else if I don't see any tech related content on there, then I just go ahead and immediately block the person, just because the person doesn't seem to have a legitimate reason for following me.
A lot of the times, what I've noticed, some of those people just don't like to associate with like the community, but they still enjoy your videos, you know?
Yeah, sometimes I've had that experience, and one time there was somebody who even commented asking me why I blocked my fans, as I blocked him on Twitter, but I later went and unblocked him.
Yes, that's good.
I don't like just immediately blocking. I just prefer to leave it as is, and really I only start to do the blocking when things start to get a little dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we have all three had a little bit of an experience where we've had to block a certain fellow from our...
Oh yeah.
We've had to block. There's two people in the tech community that I can think of that we have to always block, or one person especially, not sure about the other.
I will put... Hold on.
I think we all know who we're talking.
I think I know one of them. The second one I can guess. Yeah. That guy is, I don't know. He's something.
Yeah.
And yeah, that second guy,
Discord
I think
on the phone change?
Yeah, he put me.
What
for the worst.
Well,
Yeah,
I
he
changed
sent me-
again? What? Discord, pick a layout, please.
They keep
Yeah,
on
seriously.
changing it.
I don't use
Okay.
Discord on my phone, and I don't have a Discord server or anything, but I imagine that's not fun.
It is awful.
I thought about trying to start a Discord server for my own channel. This was years ago, but then when I learned a lot about the general community on Discord, I'm like, nope, no thank you. You guys are way too toxic, and I don't like promoting toxicity. So
Yeah, I've
Exactly,
known.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. Especially back in 2020 and 2021, there was a lot of inappropriate photos going around on Discord.
Well, I feel like you can get that anywhere on the internet if you look hard enough.
Yeah.
Not even
much.
if you look hard enough, if you just...
sometimes you can have it pushed to you without warning.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter is really odd.
Yeah, I've had that. Yeah, I've seen some inappropriate stuff online before.
Yeah.
And one time I found some some inappropriate photos on hang on, let me get it. This dusty old pile of phones.
Oh, it's his iPod.
No.
His iPod?
No, it was not just that, but my mom found that, but this.
Oh. They come from the same guy?
I don't.
Oh, was it the iPod that you got from Santa Claus,
Yes.
allegedly?
Yes, I did.
You think Santa Claus you think Santa Claus enjoyed... What am I looking at on your desk? You think that Santa Claus
That was Frank.
forgot to wipe his iPod?
No, that was not Santa. No, a lot of the music was also pirated, so I don't think that was Santa Claus's.
You don't think so?
Yeah, might have been Fred Claus's, but not Santa Claus's.
Who the hell is Fred Claus?
Fred Claus.
Never
So,
heard of that.
just for context, there's a Christmas movie called Fred Claus. That's about Santa Claus's older brother, who was always jealous of his brother. So as a result, Fred Claus was a bit of a jerk before he had to work for Santa to get bail money.
Oh, you think
And then
it was?
he had
In other words, he's always on the naughty list.
Yeah.
You think it could have been Mrs. Claus's iPod? Or whatever?
No, it was
Mrs.
some
Santa.
Santa probably bought it from somebody and didn't know, but yeah, just for context, let me get the iPod. It is the
I don't know, man.
was found on this iPod, 5th generation.
The white 5th gen, right?
Yeah, the one that works. Yeah, you should have seen. Have you seen? Do you guys watch app? Do either of you watch Apple Demo by chance?
I used to, but he stopped showing up on my page.
Nope, I've never even heard of him, to be honest.
So Apple Demo had a video back in 2017 about eBay life, and it was on a used iPhone 3G, or no, it was on a used 3GS. Yes, of a very funny text message chain that is, it's pretty funny, I'll just say, but it doesn't show any photos or anything, but
I can imagine what it is.
yeah.
Anywho.
Alright, let's get back. We didn't directly mention anything, so I don't think we need to rate this episode as explicit yet.
Yeah.
But I guess we shall move on to our next topic, which is that Humane is looking to sell itself for between $750 million and $1 billion.
Yeah, of course they're selling themselves. They're a failed company already. Failed
I
startup,
think
whatever.
they're worth that much.
Yeah! Sure, they garnered some attention in the tech media space, but I'd say that does not make them more... I'm not a businessman, so I don't know, but I'm not sure they're worth that much.
Okay, Teddy, you know how you keep accusing me of price gouging?
That's worst price.
Who's the bigger price gouger here?
Oh, man. Humane, although Alpha's price gouging is
Not me!
better. Much better. Selling an iPad Air 5 for $485 is...
That is exactly what Swappa told me to sell it for.
No, Swappa doesn't know what they're talking
in.
about.
Well, apparently...
They don't.
They do.
Then
Their
how are
stuff
they in
sells.
business? How are they in business if they don't know where they're
Because they price gouge, so they make so much
And how have they been
profit.
in business for, what, 10 years?
Yeah, but they're not that popular.
They've got a very loyal fan base. Just letting you know.
Yeah, I'm saying... Yeah, it does. Yeah, it has a very, very... There's lots of things that have very loyal fan bases, but that doesn't mean they're popular. Like for example,
Still,
Taylor
I listed
Swift
my
is a very
iPad
loyal
for the
fan
recommended
base,
price
but not
they
many
told me
people
to.
like her music now. So
Yeah, I listed my iPad for the price they told me to, so that's what it's priced at.
all right, well, for context,
You guys want to talk about another failed phone?
Yes, please.
Or another failed... This company is extremely respected in the film industry. And they tried making a phone. Can you guys
Red?
guess who I'm talking about?
The red hydrogen one.
Can you guys guess what I have in my hand right now?
No.
Yeah,
you
have
do
one of
not.
those.
Oh my gosh!
I should get one of those.
Can you guess what my latest video is going to be about?
The red
It's
hydrogen
probably
one.
gonna be about the red hydrogen one. Oh my
Red
gosh! How much
hydrogen
did you
one.
pay for that?
Nothing.
What?
Someone was throwing it out. I also have a Microsoft Kin that someone was throwing out. I got this year and some months ago. Microsoft Kin, Amazon Fire Phone that I bought in 2018. A lot of these failed phones. I have a Note 7. I have just about all the failed phones.
Let me look up how much a
this
red
one-
hydrogen. A red hydrogen one is only around $100 now. Oh, I found one for $55, $65.
This phone is like one of the only big phones that I like using. It's uncomfortable, but it has the right to be because look at these sides. I will send some people over for Alpha to put on the screen. These sides just look great. This thing, you can't get rid of it. It's almost like how some of these new cases are, but just this thing is made out of all metal. It is a nice phone. There was a titanium version available too.
Yep. I remember that was one of the headlining features of it. It came in a titanium option.
Yeah.
USB-C. Look at this. This is another thing. This thing was made for filmers. Where is it? You don't.
I mean,
need
its
a
camera
SIM card
wasn't that
tray.
great, but
Yeah, but you don't need a SIM card tray to remove, or you don't need a SIM card puller to remove the SD card.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really cool. This thing, using this, the color profile is not what you'd want. It does detail extremely well. You can tell. It's all color. And unfortunately...
Well, that's because it's made to be like their other cameras where
Yeah.
you have to put it in a video editor and color grade it
But-
yourself.
it didn't offer RAW capability. So you can't take RAW photos. At least you couldn't when it came out.
Yeah, that is weird.
I don't see... Yeah, I can't see a RAW option. So you're pretty much stuck with, what, a JPEG or whatever this thing pops out. So...
Yeah, that's
Really nice phone.
that was very unfortunate. Like if it had raw capabilities, especially back then, when did it come out? 2016? That era?
2018.
18, so I'm 2 years off. But still, if it had raw photo capabilities or raw video capabilities like that, it probably would have done better.
It's a good 2 years before the iPhone even started RAW.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
because
weird because
iPhones didn't get raw capabilities until the iPhone 12 series, and that was just for photos, and that came out in 2020.
yeah, I've been comparing the camera on that compared to an iPhone XS, and the iPhone's camera is just, it's better. It might not pull as much detail, but it's unfortunate to see. I think the camera on the Red is just about as big as the 14 Pros,
Oh, that doesn't surprise
Yeah, I know that
me.
camera's big.
but it
That
doesn't. It
camera's
doesn't
big.
come out as much though. Just an interesting thought on this this phone. It's also got an LED notification light. Just wanted to mention that because
Yep.
I feel like that's a cool thing, and also you can put a red photo in the thumbnail now, an image of the phone in the thumbnail, make it look cool. Because adding a photo of this phone to anything makes it 10 times cooler.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I personally do like the idea of the indicator light, and I like the rugged design of the red hydrogen one, but I just don't like its screen. And but ironically, I can't. Mind you, this
Oh
is
yeah, doesn't that have a holographic screen
It
or a
does.
3D screen?
Yeah.
It is 3D, I believe. Maybe
Oh, good.
holographic.
Oh, just like the Vision Pro and 3D TVs from before, and the Fire Phone, and the HTC Evo 3D. Hang on, I have an Evo 3D.
I have everything you mentioned except for the Vision Pro there.
Yeah.
An old 3D TV, those failed. Everything
Yeah, I have an
3D
Evo
fails,
3D.
you're right.
It doesn't work, but I have one.
The only 3D thing that didn't fail, that was a massive success, was the 3DS. The 3DS was a good console.
Yeah, but even then they got rid of the 3D.
They did on the 2DS.
And
Maybe that's
didn't
why
they get,
I don't
didn't they
see
get
two
rid of it on
X's.
the Switch?
Yeah, on the Switch they did, but I feel like that makes a bit more sense because Switch has got a much bigger display. In the Switch, you have to translate that to an actual TV as well, and not all TVs are 3D.
Yeah, most 3D TVs were discontinued by 2017. In fact, they were all discontinued by 2017.
I thought LG had an OLED one from around then.
They stopped making I believe it was 2017, but maybe I'm wrong. But
I have
I've
no
gone
clue.
to this before. But one of my friends, who, mind you, is an avid Samsung fan, he also thinks that the Red Hydrogen one was one of the best smartphones ever made.
It was a great phone.
He thinks that you think that the Red Hydrogen one was good?
Well, the concept, the execution was not.
Yeah.
It took a year
Yeah.
of development. They promised so much. I think they promised a 120 hertz display, which we never got. Could be wrong.
Oh, not only
They
that,
promised-
but also it had bezels in 2018.
Well,
I think
you
it
can't
also
say the Pixel
promised
3 didn't.
interchangeable camera lenses or something.
Yeah, they did. That was another thing. There's these pins on the back. They promised you could, change the lens, or not the lens. You could add all this stuff. That never came. they promised that you would be able to use it as a viewfinder for your Red cinematography camera. I don't think that ever happened. Just so many failed
Yeah,
promises.
why would they let you use that when they charge $7,000 for a 7-inch viewfinder for one of their cameras?
That
makes no sense.
One of the reasons the phone was $1,300.
I know, right?
A viewfinder. Hold up, Red really charges $7,000 for viewfinders on their cameras?
Yes,
Doesn't seem like
they do.
That is ridiculously overpriced. Even Apple wouldn't charge that much.
Yeah, I gotta show you a Linus Tech Tips video where Linus is unboxing his brand new Red cameras. The camera itself was literally 50 grand. And then he paid another additional $100,000 on top of that, purely in accessories. Accessories being batteries, the screen, record button,
There's no record
the
button built
lenses.
in?
There is no record button built
What
into this camera.
Red's a scam. Red is a scam firm. Why doesn't the U.S. government bust them instead of Apple?
Yeah, now you really want to talk about price gouging here?
I'm sorry, but Red's cameras are not that good.
They're good cameras. Extremely good cameras. But
Yeah, they are.
But they're not charge 50, 100 grand for accessories good.
Yeah. Especially when it probably costs, what, $300 to make a little LCD for that?
I mean, to me, it's kind of like the same concept when Apple users will buy an expensive phone, but on top of buying an expensive phone, they'll pay like $60, $80 for Apple's first-party case when they're truly trash. I hate Apple's first-party case options.
I actually like my 14 Pro leather case.
But they don't make that anymore, do they?
No, they don't.
I would have used the leather case, but yeah.
I don't even like leather cases. They've fallen apart on me all the time. My jeans
really?
have just worn them out. Yeah.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, I've only used my
Yeah, then we know what happened to Fine Woven. Have you guys watched Mr. Who's the Boss's latest tech fails video? Fine Woven cases got an entry.
Oh, I didn't. I don't watch Mr. Who's the Boss anymore, so.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently it turns out actually it's a big enough fail to the point where I think Apple's going to stop making them.
Are they going to go back to leather?
I don't know about that, but I hope they at least stop making the second I heard them announce Fine Woven, I'm like, this is going to be a disaster. This is going to be even worse than the leather cases.
Like woven cases, just like weaving stuff together just doesn't work. Like I used to have a weaved case. Back in 2018, my parents and I shared, my mom and I shared a weaved lightning cable that was really thick, and it wasn't the highest quality, but it fell apart really quickly.
Yeah, that's the problem when it comes to woven fabrics. At some point, it's going to unweave itself. Like, you know how you get holes in your socks?
Yes.
I imagine the exact same thing was going to happen to these iPhone cases, and lo and behold, how is my prediction correct?
Hold on. They got holes in that?
It's at least tearing. The woven fabric material is actually tearing, and it's coming apart.
Oh, no way.
They're only a year. These cases are less than a year old, by the way. But on my iPhone 14 Pro leather case, which I've had for a year now, it's still. I mean, it's got some signs of tears, but nowhere near as bad as for Fine Woven.
Yeah,
I've heard that some people have their woven cases come undone.
Wow. Back on my XS Max, one of my primary cases was a leather folio case. I still have it. It was a great case. That case was nice. I had one for my 10 as well, but unfortunately the dog got to it and the dog chewed it up.
Ooh,
which
that's
inevitably ended up in a cracked screen because I didn't have a case, and while using my phone without a case, it fell on my garage stairs, and the screen got smashed, like really badly. But
I can't believe I've dropped my Tennis Max on rugged concrete on the concrete patio outside my garage, and all I had was just a minor scratch from the stainless steel corner, and that was it.
I remember the first
Glass wasn't even
scratch
touched.
that I got on my XS Max. I took it out of the case while I was on vacation, and I was sleeping on one of those sofa beds because I didn't feel like sleeping on, sharing an actual bed. So, midway through the night, my phone falls on the ground. It gets this nasty dent in the corner, and then it was like a day after that, a few hours maybe after that. Um, funny thing happened. The phone stopped turning on, and then the next day when I was going home, it started turning on. So
Oh, I remember you telling that story.
Yeah, I remember that.
just I don't know, just a weird
Yeah.
experience.
I feel so bad for you because of those weird issues you were having with that phone.
I
And
wish I had better experiences. I wish these phones were better because honestly, these things, they look nice. The 10's design is nice. I wish the speakers were uniform. Still wish that on the new iPhones. But
yeah, same here. I can agree with you on that.
I think the if they still had the 10's design on the SE, I would call that the best looking iPhone.
Dude,
Oh, so would I.
same.
I may
Yeah,
not
we've gone
like
gone
the
into
phone
this
inside, but I've changed my mind on a little bit on the design because I used to think, okay, I like the 11 Pro design a bit more, but now the more I look at just this camera design and just think, wow, this amount of tech that they put into this is insane. I think like, okay, yeah, this phone is a technological masterpiece almost.
Truly is.
Yeah, one of the main one of the main reasons why I'm still using this. You really can't get that much cleaner of a design than this while still being tech packed.
It's hard. I look at my 15 Pro and I have the same feeling like, wow, this camera system in a phone is absolutely insane. But it's just not the same anymore now that these phones are like bigger and the phone's just so much thicker. That's the thing that gets me. I can deal with a bigger phone. I like smaller phones. I can deal with a bigger phone if it was thin and light. But unfortunately it looks like a lot of people disagree because in one of my friend group chats, one of my friends was like, WWDC's next week. Also, these new iPads look like they're hard to pick up. Why is Apple making everything so thin? And another one of my friends is like, yeah, 100%. I hate how thin these are. And then another one of my friends
I
is like,
found
yeah, me too. They should stop making it so thin. And I'm like,
yeah,
guys, look at the
I
iPhone
found it
6.
interesting when Jerry Rig Everything, he got the new iPad in-house, and we all know how infamous he is for just bending the stuff because he's the durability tester. I found it interesting how Apple engineered that thing to be bending resistant. Now, is it perfect? Absolutely not.
Probably
because,
they probably know that
well,
Jerry Rig
thin
Everything's
sheet-
gonna make a video about
Yeah.
that. So
But the thing was, though, its structural integrity, it held up pretty darn well until he finally literally just bent it so it would actually snap in half. It had a spine in there that would prevent it from bending as much as possible, and that spine is strong.
Yeah.
I wonder why Apple doesn't try
So
to make
I was
iPhones
rather
thin-
impressed with the
as thin as
engineering.
as thin as possible if they can make the iPad just as thin.
I'm sure they have a lot of reasons for not making the iPhones as thin. Man, I would love to see
Supposedly, it's in
just
the rumors for the 17 series.
I would love to
Uh,
see just
Oh
a
yeah, the
majorly
17
thin
Ultra it
iPhone,
is.
though. What if they made like the normal iPhone 16 really thin, but the Pros are thicker? It would be something for everyone.
Yes,
True.
that's true.
Because honestly, that's kind of what they're doing with the camera bump already. You want a big camera bump, you go with the Pro. You want a small camera bump, you go with the 15. Why not just
Pretty
reinforce that
much.
further? And it would make sense because the 15, that's what everyone's going to buy.
Yeah.
General consumers, I think they would be a bit more impressed by the thinness because they're gonna be like, dude, look at my phone. They're gonna go showing it off to everyone. Dude, look how thin my phone is. The
Yeah,
pro
they'll like
users are gonna be
it.
like, the pro users are gonna go to other pro users and say, dude, this phone blows. It's so thin, man. Because that's how
Because I
enthusiasts
guess
are.
that might have something to do with, oh, it has to be thick in order to be a tech-heavy packed device or something like that. Despite that Samsung's been making pretty thin Note phones, and yet it packs a stylus and a pretty big battery, and etc. etc. Oh wait, but they killed off the Note phones because they suck now, I guess.
I want to say, let's look back at the Galaxy S3, S4, S6, S8, S20. How thin were those phones, and what would every Samsung user say? Look at how thin this phone is. Look at how good this design is. And look, those phones were amazingly designed. I'm not gonna lie. I think the
Yeah.
S8 is one of the most beautiful phone designs ever. I'm just
I'd
gonna
put
say
that
this.
more towards the S9 and S10, to be honest. I didn't like the S8 for one reason, and it was because they put the fingerprint reader in such a bad, tacky spot. It just didn't
Yeah,
work.
I don't like.
The
I
That
don't like
makes
the
sense from a
S8's
usability
bezels, but
standpoint.
that's just me.
But I could also say this. The iPhone 7 Plus in red and jet black are two of the greatest looking phones you'll ever
Yeah,
see.
dude, I love that product, red iPhone 7. If I was going to buy an iPhone 7 today for collection purposes, which I'm not because I'm dirt poor, product red would be the one I'd get.
You know, I back in 2017, my main phone was a product red 7 Plus. One of the coolest things I brought around. Just such a nice phone to just walk around with. Um, Back then, a bigger phone meant so much more. I really enjoyed that phone. That was I even water damaged it at a point, but it survived.
Wow.
I took
I
it
mean,
in a
hey,
cold.
iPhone 7 series was the first one to get certified water resistance, I
Yeah.
believe.
Of course, I
So,
had a 7 for a little while too. I water damaged it like 3 or 4 times within the first month of me having it, man. I kept on taking it like into water. I was like, it wasn't even deep water. It was like the sink, and it kept on breaking. I was like, at one point, I was like, okay, I'm tired of this. Because I was getting a little annoyed at the aux jack removal, which I don't care about anymore. So I went and I got
yeah.
an SE one, which I really, really, really enjoyed as well.
Yeah, the SE1 was just as good of a phone in a sense.
I had such a hard time telling the difference between that and a 5S at the time.
Now
5S
I
has
actually
little
know
bit
how to
different
tell the
colors.
difference between the two.
Well, oh yeah, I know how to tell too. I know how to tell the difference as well. But back then, when I was beginning my tech enthusiasm, that's when I was more of an Android fan, and I didn't care as much for iPhones, especially because Apple removed the headphone jack on the iPhone 7. Oh wait, I listen to music a ton. I care about the headphone jack. This was me back then, by the way. And I did not know AirPods were a thing because I did not used to watch Apple events at the time.
Yeah, I didn't know
So,
AirPods were a thing
I
until
thought it was
2018.
one of the dumbest decisions Apple has ever made,
Or I
and it
knew
just
in
reaffirmed me
2017
to sticking with
actually.
Samsung. So, yeah, I those were my thoughts on the headphone jack at the time. But now that I knew, then when I learned AirPods were a thing, and obviously I owned two different sets of AirPods, my both AirPods Pros and my AirPods Max. I don't really miss that cable that much. I mean, I still have a physical cable for when I do music production or when I do edit audio and such, but that's because it's a latency thing. When you're listening, just casually listening, it does not matter. Bluetooth is fine, but when you are editing this stuff, latency is a thing you have to reduce, and that's why I use the cable still.
Aw, man. There's an
What?
LCD mark in my red hydrogen one.
Oh!
Let me show you. This is annoying. Which monitor? Okay. I have this monitor for my call. It's up in the corner. Oh, which corner? SIM card corner.
Oh.
Here's the thing. Let me pop this out of 3D. You can't see it in normal mode.
Huh.
3D things, am I right, man?
I know, right? No wonder this technology never took off.
I couldn't imagine how pissed I would be if this happened out of the box.
Yeah.
If this happened out of the box, I would go out buy an iPhone XS instead.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I would be like,
Yeah, we know how much you hate that phone.
Back then, before I had the... I would have bought this, like, right when it came out if I had the money. Because this came out at a time when I was looking at buying an Android phone. But I ended up going with an S9 Plus. I should have went for a different phone, though.
Yeah, dude, that was such a good phone.
It was good. I just didn't like the One UI when that came out.
I miss Samsung in the glory days.
Oh, yeah.
I miss Samsung
Yeah,
in their glory
so
days.
do
They
I.
were so good.
Samsung
so
used
good.
to be great.
What? I know. Now Pixel stole that role. I was very impressed with the Pixel. I mean, I had my couple gripes, but other than that, it was fine. I was
it's a
rather
nice
impressed
phone
that
for
Google
what it
actually
is.
made a decent phone. Yeah, I agree.
How much did you end up getting for that anyway?
This?
The Pixel, yeah. You sold that yet?
No. Actually, I'm probably going to have to change sites because now I'm listed way below. I've now listed my price way below everyone else I found on the marketplace, and I'm still not getting any bids or anything of that nature. Nobody wants this phone. And I don't know if it's because I advertised like I should. I should be transparent. I advertised there's a scratch in the display. I don't know if you guys can see it. But there's a scratch in the display that you can't see when the screen's on. And then I got that big scrape on the side by the SIM card tray. Just this focus distance is terrible. Yeah.
Is that on the MacBook?
Yeah,
or
right
13?
there. That scrape right there. That's my 13.
Yeah. Just know they've
Yeah, that is just.
they nerfed it even harder on the 14 Pro.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know if it's because I advertised the damage on this and it's making this phone less desirable, but I mean, I've seen other phones in similar condition like this on SwapUp priced actually higher than this. So I don't know. But I'm probably going to have to change. This is initially being sold on eBay, but nobody's bought it yet. So, and because now I'm way below the asking price of everyone else, I'm probably just going to delist it from eBay and try Swappa again.
All right.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I've now listed it like close to $100, and I'm like, I'm not losing 50% of my money from that. I'm sorry, not happening.
You know what you could
I
do?
want more than 50% of my money back.
Worst comes to worst, you could try and find someone in the tech community that would trade you like a S20 Ultra or something for it. Review that, then try and sell that, because I feel like that would be a little easier to sell at Samsung.
Yeah, you have a point.
Don't know how much I would.
You don't happen to know anybody in particular, do you?
You could try, Elias. I don't have any S20 Ultras or anything that I would be able to. I don't have anything like likewise value, but Elias might. And you know, APR2K, he might be very interested in that. He's got a lot of phones. I would probably just ask them, ask around a bit, see.
Because I want to price this at $200 because I paid $230 for it.
Yeah, that would be good.
I've accepted the fact that I'm going to lose. Yeah, I've accepted the fact that I'm going to lose some money, but I don't want to lose over 50% of my money just from this, especially because it's only been a month of use.
Yeah, it's like $1 a day. $1 every day, 31 months in a day, or days in a month.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, April's 30 days. So, yeah, I'm okay selling this for $200, but now I'm like, it's now way below where I want it, and at this point, I can't sell it because I'm going to lose too much money on this thing. So, yeah, I'm in a pickle right now because I can't get this sold, and unfortunately, if I can't get this sold, I'm coming up real tight on my North Carolina budget, so...
Yeah.
All right.
May or may not be another reason why I'm trying to sell the iPad.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I guess we shall. I'm guessing the car making your finances tight?
No. Actually, no. So I guess I'll give you guys a final update. The whole repair saga with Stardust is finally done. In fact, after we finish our podcast today, I'm going to film the whole video recapping this whole thing. But the saga is finally done. It's officially been over a week since I picked Stardust up from the dealer, and the check engine light has not come on.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah, apparently the entire time it was nothing but corrosion throughout the entire harness.
Man.
In fact, I might not be surprised if Buick ends up issuing a recall for that car, because from the sounds of it, there were some parts missing in my car, which caused the corrosion.
Yeah, I would not doubt it.
So, yeah, part of it was at the factory, there were a couple gaskets that weren't installed, so that obviously led to some corrosion in the harness. But then also just in general, up here in the winter, we are brutal on our cars here because of the salt, the bad slippery conditions, and also UP Michigan. Nobody cares about the roads up here. As a result, there are always potholes everywhere. And so, yeah, we are abusive on our cars up here. And as a result, I expect things to wear. But the salt in particular, I was pretty sure that was going to affect the corrosion rate of that harness. And it was so bad. They basically done a whole vehicle harness replacement at this point.
Right.
So, yeah, a month and a half in the shop. Finally have my car back. And the warranty expires next week.
Ah.
Oh.
So.
Only a 1-year warranty?
Yeah, because I bought it certified pre-owned, so I don't get the full factory warranty. The powertrain warranty, I still believe, is active. So, yeah, powertrain warranty is still active, even past. But in terms of general bumper to bumper, everything about the vehicle warranty, that's expiring next week.
At least you're taking care of everything while you still have your warranty.
Yeah. Says, yeah, if I recall, what are the things that I've done in that car? First thing I did was I needed an AC reprogramming because I turned the AC to as cold as possible, and when I turned the fan speed up, all I got blasted with was hot air.
Oh.
Which was the complete opposite of what I wanted. So, yeah, I brought it back to them, and they apparently there was a bug in the AC system. It was a software bug. So simple reprogramming, and then, well, we're now back to normal. I don't know how you get a bug like that because there's no updates or anything like that. Anywho, that aside, I had to get a key replaced. That was literally the first thing I did a week after I picked the car up.
Oh, what?
I've done a screen replacement because it had suffered heat damage, which is a known issue with these cars. I had to do an air vent replacement because they broke the air vent while replacing my screen. So, I've had a grill shutter replacement, and then a whole wiring harness replacement for those grill shutters. So,
Man.
yeah, there's been a few things that have been taken care of, but at this point, I'd say the car's dialed in. Like, there's no more issues I have left.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, if another issue arises, it's because I drove it and wear and tear is going to settle in. But, yeah, I'd say at this point, the car's dialed in. My mom scared me a couple months ago when we went on our Easter trip. She claimed that she could not get comfortable in the passenger seat. I'm like, how is that possible? I am so comfortable in my seat. And she said, the lumbar doesn't move.
Who said that?
Your
My
mom.
mother. The passenger seat lumbar wasn't moving. At least that's what she thought.
Well, like the bubble thing?
Yeah, the thing in the backrest that'll expand and push your back forward or
Hate
back
that.
or... Yeah, I
Can't
found
stand
that... Yeah, it's a bit annoying until you adjust it properly.
You know,
She
one of the
claimed that was
reasons-
not working.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I don't want to daily drive a Porsche with base model seats or without sport seats. Those seats, I don't know what it is. Porsche managed to make the worst lumbar possible. It always feels like the bubble is out. And I can't stand it. Audi has the opposite. It's just Audi's seats. They feel natural. Porsches, it's like it's trying to push you out, and I can't stand that. It's just...
I don't know if it has something for sports seat design or something. I don't know, because I've never sat in a Porsche. But I would think
wouldn't know
Porsche's brand
either.
ethos is... Porsche is ultimately a performance brand, right?
The Macan that I've driven the most of is not. It's like a luxury one. But,
Okay, yeah, I know they have that.
the sport seats,
But
I've heard the sport seats are a lot better. I've sat in it. Maybe I've driven one of the sport seats. I don't know. I definitely haven't driven one of the sport seats long distance. But, yeah, for what it is, I've heard the sport seats are very good.
so far, my favorite seats that I have ever sat in, I kid you not, Tesla Model Y.
Really?
That makes sense.
Yeah, I have
Best one-
never sat in a more comfortable seat, and that seat was not even positioned for me properly. It was too far forward, and the backrest was leaning too close to a 90-degree angle. So in theory, that position should not have been comfortable for me, but I ranked that higher than the Cadillac I saw in.
Which Cadillac?
Sat in. It was an XT5.
You know, most comfortable cars I've sat in, there's been two. The best car that I think I've ever been in has been a 2014 Audi S4. That thing was so comfortable. Haven't been in one of those in years. I just remember the Alcantara seats, the positioning, everything. In second, B9.5 generation Audi S4 had the red seats so soft. They were leather, of course. Just, I wish I could have gotten that car. So bad. That car, just so cool. Those S4s.
Yeah, something that I've learned with my history of being in and out of cars. I can't own a car with cloth seats. I just
Nope,
can't.
never
I
in
have
my
to
life.
go leather.
Unless
I
I'm
don't
getting
like
some
cloth
sort of
seats
junk car.
either.
Unless I'm getting some sort of junk car that I just drive around to not care about, not doing cloth. Any daily driver that I actually care about is either going to have Alcantara or leather. Alcantara.
I haven't tried an
because-
Alcantara seat yet.
So there's one thing I will say about Alcantara. I will probably never share an Alcantara seated car, which is good for me because I don't like other people driving my stuff whatsoever.
Yeah, I can tell.
Just
How can you tell?
Via his text messages.
yeah. I just like to know every mile I put on it has been from me. You know, every weird damage I would have to take responsibility for because I don't know. Just some weird stuff that happens every once in a while that I'm like, I don't think I hit curbs. So I don't know why these rims look so messed up. I remember there is one where I did screw it up. It was raining pretty bad. I took a turn around a curb pretty tight and I nicked it pretty bad. But that was
Oh yeah, I think you sent us a picture of that.
that was like December.
Yep.
I was like, oh man, that just was not great. But
Yeah, so far there's only two things I've done damage-wise to Stardust, and they're so minor that I never think about it. Gosh, these stupid reaction things. One, I was in the McDonald's drive-through, and I got a little too close to those bollards, and I hit my mirror against it.
oh dude.
To my surprise, though, not a single scratch. I searched that mirror everywhere. I can't find a scratch on it.
Was it a plastic or a concrete one?
It was concrete. It was a concrete bollard.
You
mean,
eat at McDonald's?
No, I go there for a treat on the occasion.
I go over there for some French fries and some sweet tea once in a while because that's sort of all that I enjoy from them.
Yeah, when I get lunch, I go to Subway. For obvious reasons.
I can tell because in one of your videos, I think you said something like your Subway order was ready to be picked up.
Yeah.
I forgot which video.
I mentioned it in the Pixel review when I was bringing up the notifications I had
yeah.
on my iPhone.
Did you record that at like 8 a.m. or something?
Nope, that was recorded at what time? I believe
really
I did
early
it
in
on
the
a
morning?
Sunday. It was in the afternoon.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was in the afternoon when I recorded it, actually.
Wow. The sunlight just looked really... I think I saw the time on the phone, and the sunlight was, like, reflecting in a way. I was like, that looks like it was recorded, like, right at the peak of, like, sunrise.
Okay, well, just so you guys have context, so you see my attic windows right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are facing south.
Hmm.
Which is a big problem for me when I'm filming because sometimes there's way too much sunlight that comes in and completely ruins the lighting of my shot. So, yeah, it becomes a problem every now and then. But yeah, those windows are facing south, so
Like
They look cool. I like the
currently, right
design
now,
of
an
that
issue that I
place.
have, which is why I had to why you actually saw my curtains briefly, is that the sun. It's gotten better now to the point where now I have my window open, or the curtains are now still open, but the sun is coming because my bedroom window by my desk is facing west. The sun is coming right.
Oh, yep. Yep.
In my eye.
Yeah, I at least have that sun for me has been driving me so nuts throughout the entire year. Throughout the beginning of the year when it was still dark when I'd wake up, I'd always have to roll out of bed and hit my head against the bedside table just to wake myself up. And now I'm waking up at like 6:30 in the morning, way before my alarm. I can't sleep right anymore. I just can't.
Yeah, usually if I wake up a little bit early, I set my alarm. I set my alarm for days that I don't go to school at 9:30. But if I don't, but sometimes I wake up at around 8:45. Sometimes I can go back to sleep though.
Yep. Anywho, what were we talking about?
We were just. Oh, we should probably move on to our next topic.
Probably
Yeah.
a good idea.
All right, so our
All right,
next
what's
topic
next?
is that Copilot Plus PC on Windows uses around 150 gigabytes of storage and takes screenshots of all user activity.
Huh?
Yeah.
Ugh!
Hold on. Repeat that once?
Copilot Plus PC on Windows uses around 150 gigabytes of storage and takes screenshots of all user activity.
How...
Ugh!
So people opt into this?
I believe it's a default feature on
With
Windows.
how Microsoft handles privacy, no, people don't opt into this.
I have recently built another gaming PC somewhat for
Yeah, I noticed
racing
that you
simulation.
edited one of your videos on Windows.
Well, I ended up doing that on Final Cut because I ended up doing that on Final Cut just to interface a bit better with my iPhone, but I might want to check that out. I'm running Windows 10 on that, not 11, but
Oh,
hmm.
gosh, Mike, what are you doing? The constant stupidity from them, it just never ends.
Like, not only, like, taking screenshots of all user activity, like, we know Microsoft's reputation of privacy. We know it's going to be sent to We know everything you do on your computer is being sent to Microsoft. Mind you, like, let's imagine if everything at Alpha's shop got sent to Microsoft. Like, isn't everything you do on your computers their NDA?
Yeah, pretty much.
Huh?
Pretty much anything on our computers there is NDA. That's why after I set up my XPS as my work computer there, that is why I can't show you the software of that thing anymore. Because basically everything on it is now NDA.
Yeah, but technically when Microsoft is stealing NDA information, They could, and mind you, I'm sure it's not just Alpha's office. I'm sure it's a lot of places that have NDA, or Microsoft is stealing NDA information because of this. Imagine how much, or what am I trying to say? Imagine how much Microsoft could get sued for.
Yeah.
But more importantly, 150 gigabytes of storage, like, really? A lot of people's computers don't even have that much storage, and even so, that's still that's a very substantial amount of storage.
My XPS has like half a terabyte, so 150 gigs. That's a massive amount of storage being wasted just for this stupid AI gimmick, just to please investors.
Yeah, just to give context, so 500, so the closest number that 150 goes into, so let me look to the map, 512 divided by 150 equals, that's 3, so...
That's 30%! You're losing a third of your storage. No, I'd be losing a third of my storage to this if I had this Copilot on my laptop. Third of my storage.
And if you have a 256 gigabyte computer, then you're losing half. And you're losing around a fourth if you have a terabyte computer.
You're not losing half. You're losing 3/5. 60%.
Huh?
If you have a 256 gig SSD in your laptop, you're losing 60% of your storage.
Yeah, you're losing way
That's
too much.
over half.
Yeah, come on, Microsoft. I know you're not going to do it. Please
All
improve
this
your
for
operating
a
system.
gimmick.
For AI, like, no one cares about AI that... I mean, actually, a lot of people care about AI, but AI is not that useful. They require 150 gigabytes.
The stupidity of Microsoft. It just never ends.
No, it doesn't. But, you know...
Gosh, and I'm going to upgrade to 12 because of course I am.
Well, you'll still be comfortable knowing that you still have Mills running Windows XP.
The truth is, though, I basically don't even interact with the operating system on those machines other than to pull up the calculator once in a while on it. Because for the most part, the operating system is primarily just running one application, and that's the controllers for the machine. And that's what I'm interfacing with. So the truth is, it really doesn't matter what operating system is running on those machines. All we need is something that is capable of running the controller. That's the crucial part. And I'd say it's a good thing it's running XP and not 10 because we all know 10's reputation.
Yeah.
And imagine if that thing blew screens of death in the middle of a milling operation.
Isn't that dangerous?
In some cases, you will be spending hours on tech support trying to figure out how to get the tool changer to find itself again.
Or I meant dangerous to people's lives.
Well, and the doors are closed. Not really. Like, we've been having power outages like crazy. That's kind of the same thing as having a blue screen of death on those machines.
So you just have to keep the doors closed when they're actually making such stuff.
Yeah, in fact, actually, most CNC machines, they have a lock set up where in order to even start the operation, the doors have to be closed so it can lock them together. It's a safety feature.
I'm going to grab a drink real quick. I'll be right
believe.
back.
All right, I should grab some water, too.
Give it a second.
So, yeah, a blue screen of death on those machines would be like the equivalent of having a power outage. It's just the machine will still have power. All the machine will do is just freeze because it has no signal. It doesn't know what to do. There's nothing controlling it. So So yeah, also, that would mean, say you wanted to actually install Windows on a big machine like that to run just the controller program. You're gonna need like half a terabyte. No, you're gonna need a full terabyte.
And a lot of XP machines like like your mill, I'm guessing they do not have. I'm guessing they don't even have 500 gigabyte hard drives.
I don't actually know how much storage it has. Because all I know, all that thing is really storing is the operating system itself, obviously, the controller software, obviously, and then just whatever programs we have in it. But then again, those programs are literally just like simple text documents.
Yeah, like most XP machines generally come with between 30 and I want to say 10 and 80 gigabytes of storage.
So yeah, I wouldn't know. The truth is though, the actual computer that runs the controller, it doesn't even have to be that powerful. It's weird to think that you don't need that much power in terms of a computer in order to run such a powerful, capable machine.
Well, since the machine is mostly mechanical, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, in case you guys are confused why we're talking about it, we had a conversation the other day about CNC machines, and just so you guys know, that's my day job. That's what I do to make money. I operate these things for a living.
Is there any way you can upgrade Is there any possible way to upgrade the hardware in the CNC machines without getting a whole new CNC machine?
No, and that's because the motors and anything in the machine itself is so tied to the controller, and as a result, we can't just upgrade the hardware like that, because then we'd be messing with the controller software, and then it would not end up good. It would basically just brick the entire machine. You'd have a car-sized paperweight.
Well, if that's not good, I'm guessing that's why.
Yeah. So as a result, we can't update the software. We've asked and we've inquired about that, but no, we can't just do that, because the way these machines work, the hardware and the software are so tied together that you can't just edit it willy-nilly like that.
But you can buy a new label maker.
I've already told you the other things we have to worry about and why we don't focus on the label maker.
You still can buy. I'm not saying that the other things don't matter. I'm just saying that you can buy a new label maker.
Dude, I think you're gonna take this label maker thing to the grave, man.
He certainly is.
You really think
Dude.
You really think when we're 80 something years old, I'm gonna be telling.
You're gonna go to
Let's say
Alpha
we're record
on-
TIFP when we're in our 80s, and I say, so Alpha, are you gonna when will you replace the label maker? Even though Alpha will probably be retired at that point.
Yeah.
I mean,
we
at that
still need
point-
that computer though for other reasons, just so you know.
At
And it's
that
because
point,
we have a few licenses that are tied to it. So even if we got the label maker replaced, we still need the computer. That's the ultimate reason
that's
why
fair.
he wants us to get a new label maker. It's because we have to use an old computer in order to use it.
That's fair.
But we still need that old computer.
just
for
like
other things,
just like
too.
how I have to have a Windows 7 machine if I want to jailbreak my old iOS devices.
See, precisely. We have other reasons behind our decisions.
I think that
That and
eventually Teddy might get if we're still doing this by the time we're 80, Teddy might have dementia, and the day that Alpha replaces it, Teddy's gonna be like, "Man, you gotta replace that label maker."
It's actually
now
not
that
in my
happens, I'm
genes.
probably
It's
dead.
actually dementia is actually a genetic disorder, and it's not in my genes to get dementia. So
That's good.
yeah, thank goodness. Even if that were the case, by the time that happens, I'm probably dead.
Hopefully
you really
not.
think you won't be alive by the time they replace that label maker?
Dude, I have gray hairs.
What?
I'm not joking.
I
I
have
had
some.
my first gray hair when I was 16.
Oh, good. Yeah, and one of my relatives had her first gray hair when she was 17.
So, yeah, just you know, I have gray hairs, and I have had a bad sleep history for the majority of my childhood.
Yeah, I don't have
Also,
any
I had
gray
a very
hair
complicated
yet.
birth, so
Look.
I have no idea what my life expectancy is.
Though I know
That's
that
scary.
one of my relatives actually lived to
Yeah.
be 77 and she never had any gray hair, so maybe I won't ever get gray hair.
Wow, waffle fries.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, uh, anywho, yeah, I guess we butchered that co-pilot thing to death.
All
I have
right, shall
another
I
topic
move on
that we
to
can talk about real quick.
Oh, what's that?
This one is more of a debate, I'd say.
Mm.
There's a right and a
Debate.
wrong. Are big cats made for petting?
No.
You're
No?
asking the wrong person because I'm not a cat person.
But would you go to the zoo? If it was, if it was a petting zoo, they had a lion. Would you pet a tamed lion?
No,
Personally, no.
I'd be too scared. I like petting my cats at my house, but that's basically it. Hang on, speaking of, I have to let Stella out.
Well, I think that's I think that's a pretty easy no to that question. Because unfortunately it seems like 2 out of the 3 people say that big cats are unfortunately not made for petting. I'm not gonna lie, man, I wish I was able to pet a lion, but yeah.
One time when my mom was really little, she went to the zoo and there were a bunch of big cats. I don't remember what kind they were, but my mom immediately went into the holes of the cage to go pet the cats, and of course they were not exactly the tame cats that she was used to, and so my grandmother literally had to chase my mom so that way my mom wouldn't get attacked.
Well, that's definitely interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Try coming face to face with a wolf once.
Well, I guess that
Yeah.
makes sense because you're Alpha Day Wolf.
I would definitely pet a big dog. But I mean, actually, is a coyote just considered a big dog?
No. Coyote.
Wolves are bigger than coyotes.
Are wolves considered big dogs?
Wolves and coyotes
I'd say, yeah.
and dogs, they're all kind of related species, but they're not the same species.
Whether or not I would pet a coyote or a wolf,
No.
I'm not sure.
No, I
hang
wouldn't.
on. I'm getting a
dogs
call.
that bark
I
a
will be
lot
right back.
scare me. Dogs that bark a lot scare me a lot, so or else dogs just jump up all the time.
I'm used to that.
Or else Betty, who scratches me, is also a little bit scary at times.
Yeah, I am a canine person. I used to not like pets a lot, and that was just because I was small, and my first interaction with a pet, very big jumpy dog, big golden retriever, kind of scared me once upon a time. But after my family got Tucker, oh, I miss that dog so much. He was an older husky, big dog, but he was an old, settled down husky. Tucker was the dog who got me used to big dogs, and now I have Jack and Marley, and throughout my whole time after I had Tucker, it's just, yeah, I like dogs a lot now. I'm a big canine person.
if I were to ever get a dog, I'm not the biggest fan of dogs just because they bark a lot and they're also pretty high maintenance, but if I were going to get a dog, it would have to be an older tame dog because I don't have the patience to deal with puppies like a certain one who did. Who
Yep,
murdered
you're
an AirPods
chewing
case.
your AirPods case.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to have any dogs that would do this.
Yeah.
Speaking
I
of,
love
it's
my
almost been a year
huskies.
since that happened.
Mm-hmm.
We all had that big debate, and how I got.
Yeah,
into an argument
I
with the
love-
tech community.
I love my huskies so much.
Yeah, I love my cats.
Thing
a
is,
lot,
though-
too.
The thing is that you think huskies are always these dramatic drama kings/queens and make a big fuss about everything.
They don't.
My dog Jack is not that way at all. He is not your average husky. This dog is so chill.
Is
He's
Marley
just
chill?
easygoing. He's so chill. Marley, not so much. She can be a bit of a drama queen every now and then, but Jack, he is so chill.
Dude.
It's so it's so weird to think a husky being so chill, but Jack's easy going. He's easy going, and yet he's only middle aged for dog years at this point.
Yeah, that's nice. And, do you plan on bringing your dogs with you when you move? Or else on your
I don't
trip?
think so. I don't think so, because, well, the dogs aren't coming up with me on my trip because I don't even think the hotel's pet friendly. There's not that many pet friendly hotels in the area, but even then, a big issue with them is Jack and Marley, they're brother and sister. You cannot separate them. You cannot separate these two. And I think I can
you have
only
three or
handle
just
living.
two?
I have 2 dogs.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought. But then, all right.
I mentioned a third, Tucker. I had him when I was much younger.
I was kind of confused because I think you said you can't separate the two, and I was assuming there's one, then 2 more that you couldn't separate from the first one. But I don't
Nope.
know. I don't know why I thought that. How was
Yeah,
what's
Jack
his name,
and Marley,
Tucker?
brother and sister. You can't separate those 2.
What was up with Tucker? How was he?
We got him when he was a senior, so he was an old, settled down dog. He was the first dog that my family has had where I was alive. My parents have had a dog before that, but he died shortly before I was born, actually, so I never got to meet him.
It's unfortunate.
But Tucker was the first pet my family had, and that dog was the dog that got me comfortable being around other dogs, because I used to not be comfortable around dogs.
Yeah,
But
the only
Tucker was
dog.
so chill, easygoing, because he was a senior husky.
When I was born, my
So-
family didn't have. When I was born, my family we had, I believe. Let me count. We had Sammy. Who else did we have? Bernie. Who else? I'm trying to think of all the dogs I
Bernie.
had. Yeah, that was the name of one of my family's old dogs. Smokey. And who else?
They named the dog after a presidential candidate.
I don't.
no. Dude, don't say that
I don't
name.
know. I don't know where my dad got the name of Bernie. I don't know where my dad named
Maybe
God's name
from
from.
your Berenstain Bears video.
No, that
Oh, was that before you started making Berenstain Bears content?
that was I was born in 08.
Yeah.
And Bernie
Oh,
passed
one
away when I was
question.
only 10 months old. Yeah.
When you hit 10,000 or 100,000 subscribers, are you ever going to make a reboot to your first video?
No.
You're never going to read another Berenstain Bears video?
No. All right. And
Maybe
what
I
was
should make a reboot to
my
my
family. I
Goofy,
think had
my
4.
channel video.
We had a 4th dog.
I could
oh
do
yeah,
a reboot
Minnie.
to my
We
How
had
to Read
Minnie.
Sheet music video.
Huh?
We were just discussing reboots we could do when we reach certain milestones. I mentioned I could do a reboot to my How to Read Sheet music video.
Yeah, you can.
I've
Make it a lot
watched
more
that
stupid.
one.
That's pretty good.
Uh,
They could actually, schools could
Yeah.
actually use that to teach how to read sheet music.
Knowing how
yeah.
teachers decide to just show you YouTube videos instead of teaching you the stuff that they're paid to teach. Yeah. They probably have ad blocker on
Yep.
too.
No,
Dude,
my teachers don't.
my school Chromebooks, back when I had those, the school Chromebooks had ad block on them.
Yep.
I'm
So did mine.
serious. I'm like,
So did
damn.
mine.
Good way to take money away from the people who deserve it, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that should be technically legal.
Ad block on its own, I don't think should be illegal, but I think it should be against a lot of sites' policy, because I agree there's reasons to use ad block because some websites will give you, scam ads. Stuff like YouTube, you're just straight up stealing the creator's money. Not only
Yeah.
that, if you want, YouTube Premium, it's like $17 a month. You probably spend, these people who use AdBlock probably spend over $17 a month on, I don't know, McDonald's, Discord mod equipment.
Some
Oh,
form
yes, that's
of
over-
DoorDash or what's that other one? Uber Eats, or I don't know what they call these anymore.
They probably spend it on, like, supplies and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely that.
And other things that I won't get into because of YouTube's policy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, it's $17 a month, that's so much. Yeah, like, you're getting your money's worth it if you use it properly. I have no
Yeah, I
problem
think
paying that.
the way AdBlock should work, especially these services, find a way to
Load the ad, but not display it.
well, not only that, but there should be a way to direct this money towards the people who like we post ads in theory. We have ads overlay on our videos because we want to make some money off of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when people use ad blocks, we don't get it. So if you don't want ad block, or if you don't want ads displaying on whatever, then you should pay money to the creators of these sites or these videos or whatever it is you're visiting. They should get the money then, so that way they're not losing money just because they can't display ads. And if anything, it actually helps advertisers save money because now they're not spending as much.
Yeah.
And yet it's going towards nothing. So I get why people do it. It's just there's a lot of unethical practices done with it that I just can't get on board with. That's why I pay for YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
I don't pay for YouTube Premium just because I just personally don't see the value, and I just personally am not the biggest fan of subscription services.
I'm not either, but I've learned that, for one, I want to support other creators out there, and having a premium subscription actually helps with that.
It does.
Because creators make more money off of a YouTube Premium viewer than a regular viewer who has to watch ads.
Maybe I should depending. Maybe I should sign up. Although I may be signing up for a gym membership soon. So
Yeah. That's what ultimately made me comfortable with the idea of paying for YouTube Premium, not just because I hated the ads, but also when I learned that it supports the creators more. That's what finally got me on board with, okay, yeah, I'm going to do YouTube Premium. And honestly, I don't regret that subscription. That's one of the few subscriptions I don't regret at all.
Yeah.
yeah, the only services that I would actually subscribe to right now are Apple Music and possibly YouTube Premium.
Shall we move on to the next topic?
I think so.
Well, actually, one more note is that apparently I need to clarify my tax information so that way I can get paid on YouTube, but I have no idea how I'm going to do that because I've never done taxes before.
You should probably add that you're not over 18
aren't they
yet, so...
fun? Yeah, it's not like you get a letter from the IRS every day saying that there's an error with your taxes.
Let me guess, you do. Good lord. Let's get back on with our next topic, which is that the Samsung is currently having a bit of a scandal. So Samsung, so iFixit is now ending their partnership with Samsung, and Samsung is now requiring independent shops to report customer data to Samsung if they want OEM parts. Like about whether the phone has an aftermarket battery and such.
Yeah.
Customer data, where can this go wrong? Oh, well, I think we all know where this can go wrong.
Yeah, we just discussed it with Copilot plus PC.
Yeah, gosh, no. Come on, Samsung, you're better than this. We know you were better than this.
We've discussed this plenty enough, so I think maybe we should move on to our next topic, which is that there's rumors that you can now create custom emojis in iOS 18 for AI. So, for example, let's say I wanted to type an emoji of, let's say I live in California and I wanted to create an emoji for the state of California. Then I could create an emoji with using AI in iOS 18 if I update to display California.
Anybody else not care here? No, me,
I don't personally like to use emojis that much, so I don't.
Neither do I.
I don't at all.
Yeah, I occasionally use them, but use them like if I think something's funny, but otherwise, and I use the laughing face emoji, but otherwise I don't really use emojis, like...
Yeah, I pretty much only use them when I'm trying to be funny or trying to add a humor element, but when I'm just trying to be serious, no, emojis are not for that, and I guess with this new function, supposedly, I guess we could replace the whole English language while we're at it, and we'll just speak an emoji from here on out.
I mean, actually, believe it or not, the ancient Egyptian language of hieroglyphics is mostly emoji type symbols, and the traditional Chinese language is actually just based off of symbols, like a symbol for a deer.
What a mess of a language.
Huh?
What a mess of a language.
Yeah, there's a reason why they had to simplify the Chinese language, so you can type it on a keyboard.
I've always wondered, how do people in China actually type or input data on their computers when they don't have an alphabet like we do?
They have software on computers to figure that out, and they have the simplified Chinese language helps with that.
I've always thought people who, grow up in China, they have to be some of the most dedicated people to learn how to write those characters. Those characters, I couldn't imagine having to write that. And they probably have to do that almost every day. Respect to them for managing to do that. One of my best friends from a few years ago, he was kind of lying to me about a lot of stuff too, and eventually me and him just decided to part ways because, well, we're still cool, but we don't talk anymore because it just turns out he never enjoyed the time we spent, really. And he really just seems like he really just wanted to hang out with me because he had nothing better to do. But
dude, I don't know how we have so much in common.
What? Your voice cut out?
I have no idea how much we have. I have no idea how we have so much in common.
Yeah.
This entire thing ran through so much. It took a lot for me to deal with this because it was every day there was something. And at some point, he just kind of it just got to the point where I was like, man, do you want to hang out or not? And he started making excuses. I'm like, if you don't want to hang out, just tell me. And New Year's Day, I got this massive text of him saying, just everything. And I was like, okay, all good, man. And it's been over a year since that, and we've hung out once or twice, but, it happens. Gotta...
So basically my latest vlog all over again.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah,
That
you guys
was-
seem to have a lot in common in your personal lives.
Yeah.
I actually thought at first we were going to hate each other a lot because of our positions on one phone.
The 10S, yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, so did
but
I.
I thought about taking down my videos featuring one of my best friends at the time, but I realized he likes being on camera, and worst comes to worst, I'll take it down if he asks me to. But I'm
Oh, you
sure he
mean-
wouldn't have a problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah, we met. Alpha and I met him once on video call.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awkward.
He was an odd dude.
Yeah.
But back to the topic. What topic are we on now?
So,
We did the Samsung. Oh wait, no, we're the AI emoji thing.
do we have any more thoughts on that, or shall we move on to our final topic?
AI is it can be used for good or for bad, or it can be used for childish stuff like this. I think this falls into
Yeah.
the third category. I'm not gonna say it's a bad
Yep.
idea. I'd rather AI be used for this than pulling up data on someone from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But with that said, what could these resources go to? The resources for the people.
I mean, here's the
figuring
thing.
this out.
I use this technology so much at work too.
AI.
Well, it's not formally called AI but it has the generative functions of it. This technology really isn't new, by the way. This is years old, but it's called CAM.
Yeah, you've been able to use some stuff that's basically AI for years. ChatGPT did not invent AI. Maybe it was one of the first actually decent chatbots. But what I will say, I've done a lot of research into it. It's probably going to end up being more than a fad, but for what it is,
That's what I'm thinking too.
as long as it stays in its current position, which is not being abused too much, it's going to be
Yeah.
good. I actually...
Well, we all know what's going to happen because the human race is going to do the human race and abuse it.
Oh yeah,
But
I've
I
seen-
actually,
I know a lot of classmates.
looked something up.
I know several classmates that have used it. Of my classmates have used it to complete schoolwork.
Yeah, I was gonna say something on that. I looked this up. Average GPA in 2022 before these chatbots came out was, I believe, 0.40 less than 2023.
Oh my!
It was something like that.
Wow.
Jeez, coincidence? I think not.
Same here.
I think these AI chatbots, you could say they're a lot of things, but can't really argue with the fact that there's numbers attached at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't, there's
It's
a
a piece of
reason.
history.
There's a reason why the education industry is broken. Is because chatbots can AI can break it because the reason
Dude,
why kids are so motivated.
I swear
to
that
cheat-
kids are coming out dumber. I swear that kids are coming out of school dumber
Oh
than
yes,
they go in.
there's this one girl that I was in class with in 8th grade who claimed that she was smarter than me, just because she got a few higher grades.
I
than
don't
me.
think a lot of people in your class are going to be smarter than you. I think you're probably
No,
one of the
I
there's
top
a few
think
that
performers in
might
your
there's a
class.
few that might be, but yeah, she is definitely not smarter than me.
Well,
Yeah,
people say
To
that.
sum up this AI thing, there's one thing about it that I really wish that we didn't do with it. Not call it AI. Call it something else. Because artificial
You
intelligence
notice how
to me-
Apple's using ML.
Yeah. Machine learning really, in my opinion, would be the best name for it.
Yeah, it's
Apple's
not.
Yeah.
name for it is better.
It's not artificial intelligence. It literally takes the AI literally takes inputs and creates outputs, just like every computer.
So I do want to mention
Yeah.
one thing. A long while ago, something that I believe Teddy said, AI is like taking the dumbest person in your class and having them do your work for you. I would argue the opposite. AI has all the information in the world, essentially, or that's on the internet. So it's more like taking the smartest person in your class and having them try to do your work. But
That would be
it's like taking
true.
the smartest person. It's like taking the smartest person in your class who can't remember things but has them noted down in a notebook. It's like taking someone who has a notebook full of answers to everything, but has to go through that and pick the best answer. When in reality, there's different formulas for a lot of stuff. In math, you get the wrong formula, AI pulls out the wrong formula, and your whole entire answer could be wrong.
Yep.
You know, but
I prefer to refer
Humans
to it
can do
as
that too.
AI has a bunch of knowledge, but it's not wise with that knowledge that it has.
yeah, pretty much.
All right, I guess we shall move on to our last topic, which is going to follow another fad, which is that Apple has reportedly chosen LG to supply 18.8-inch and 20.25-inch foldable panels for a foldable device in early 2026.
Sounds like an iPad or a MacBook.
Yeah, I don't think. Now, granted, there's been rumors floating around this since at least 2019, so I'd be stunned if Apple actually made a foldable, but
Yeah.
I mean, from the
we've
sounds
gone
of
into
it, just by
foldables enough and
describing
how they're
that.
pretty stupid.
Well, the problem is the foldables as they are right now, they're just in the smartphone space for the most part. I know Lenovo made a laptop that's foldable. That's not my point here. For the most part, the majority of this folding screen tech is found in our smartphones, where I'd argue it's just not. It doesn't add any practical value.
Yeah.
Like on a laptop, I can see a folding MacBook making some valid sense because I mean,
Same here.
I wouldn't like the absence of. I wouldn't. I'm not sure if I would like the absence of key travel, but I would like how I could be able. How I could have kind of a keyboard and trackpad combined since I don't.
Well,
always
Apple
need
could do one of
keyboard.
those. Apple could do one of those like force touch trackpad things where it makes you feel like you're making a physical click when in reality it's not actually moving.
Yeah, they could do so much. They can make
If
the bottom
implemented
half
properly.
a touchscreen, and the other half not. Like they can make a full.
And then
like,
we
they
might
can
have
make a
another
giant
butterfly
touch
keyboard
bar.
situation. We might have another butterfly keyboard situation where you get a speck of dust in there and you close the device up, and you're going to get a whole new $1,000-some screen.
I don't think that's necessary. Folding phones haven't had that issue quite as much, so folding laptops
Not as
might
much, but you got to realize the tolerances that they're making these things with are really tight. And
Yeah.
imagine opening your laptop after, I don't know, having some people eat around their computers, eating around your laptop, closing it, waking up the next day, opening it, and there's a bunch of marks in the plastic from that,
That would
from
make
like
that
crumbs
would
and
make
stuff.
that would make valid sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, there's a foldable on display at Walmart. I know, in the middle of
Oh,
nowhere, Michigan, you
no.
never expect to see that. But there's
How
a
bad is it?
foldable phone on display at Walmart, and everyone's reaction I see when they walk by it, and it is proudly on. It's like in the main aisleway. That's where it's displayed. Everyone's reaction. That's gonna break. I don't trust that. That's gonna break.
Yeah.
Everyone's reaction. And then
Yeah,
they'll look at the
and
MacBook
they have
on display
reason to
right
think
next
that.
to it. Yeah. So, yeah, even my parents, I asked them because they're Samsung fans. They've been Samsung buyers for years at this point. We went to a Best Buy and walked by their foldable phones, and I asked my parents, "What do you think of what do you think of these things?" And they touched the display, and the plastic display actually made them worry that they themselves would damage it just by using it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think still to this day, if your fingernail's too long or if you're not careful with your fingernails, you can still uh, make an imprint with your fingernails. Am I right? Or I
Um,
don't know.
so I haven't had anything over a 3, Z Fold 3. But, um, my, the 3 that I had was pretty much the same technology as you're using now from what I can tell. The tolerances are just
That's
a bit
what I
tighter.
thought.
Um,
Yeah.
absolutely 100% enjoyed that Z Fold 3. Amazing phone. I considered switching to Android after using that. And
Oh,
then
really?
in I think a lot of people, if you guys got your hands on a folding phone, it would change your mind on them. You would think they're some of the coolest technology.
Maybe I should
I
buy a folding
hate
phone then.
Well, I've
you
had a friend who did have one periodically, and I asked if I could
flip or
hold it
fold.
and play around with it, but
Flip or a fold.
fold, not a flip. It
Oh,
was a fold.
one thing I will say, every time I used to walk past them at the store, use them, I'm like, that's kind of cool. When I got the Fold 3, I thought, okay, being able to multitask like this is crazy. Being able to have this much screen real estate on such a small device is crazy. And it I hate to see this. The fact that they're not taking it seriously. They're not taking it as seriously as they should. These phones should be so much more. If more companies were taking advantage of the technology, improving on this, it would be so much better. But unfortunately, there's a lot of limitations that could be solved but aren't. But
Well, I wonder if
yeah.
it's not necessarily Samsung's fault. I think maybe it's just Android's fault and the lack
No,
of optimization.
I think it is 100% Samsung's fault because they're saving their high-end devices for the S23 or S24. They're not giving the Z Fold 5 and soon to be the 6, maybe, the treatment they need. They're giving them essentially the treat. It's like they take the S23 or the S24, sorry, and they call that the Note. And they take the folds, which are more expensive, they call those the S line. You're not getting what you should. You're getting a subpar experience for more money. And that's a pretty bad analogy because the S line has always been cheaper than the Notes, but it just feels like they're not giving it what it should. And for what that's
Yeah,
worth,
that's my problem with Samsung ever since the S10 really was the last great Samsung phone, and after that, that's when it started going downhill fast for them.
S21 was good. I
So,
had one, really enjoyed the phone. S22 I liked, not for the phone, but for what I liked it because of how it acted at the time. I didn't like it because it had great specs. I liked it because it was a small phone I was able to pocket, record good video with, not because it was a great performer. I
well,
would
I could
never.
not get excited for that phone because, again, to
They
me,
didn't market
especially
it
when it comes to
properly.
Samsung's flagships, well, when it comes to Samsung's flagships, anyway, they remove so many of the features that
Yeah.
we, I especially cared about. Like those phones that you mentioned, I don't think they have an SD card slot.
Nope. They don't. S20 was the
They
last
don't
one to
have
have
a
that.
1440p display anymore either.
They don't. Well,
Last I checked,
yeah.
it was either the S20 or the 21 that got rid of the 1440p display. They're now
I'm going to say
1080.
this right now. The S22 was marketed improperly. That phone could have been amazing if they marketed it as a small phone, a compact phone. But I'm going to say this right now. Never in my life will I ever consider using an S22 again because of the I I liked that phone a lot when I got it. I could never get excited by holding that phone again. That phone was fun to use for a week. Then I realized this thing doesn't have 6E like the S22 Plus. Battery life on that was subpar, even though that didn't really matter to me at the time, still doesn't. Didn't have faster charging. I was going to return it for an S22 Plus. Then I said,
Yeah, they
I,
really nerfed the standard phone.
they still do it. And I said this. I
Yeah.
said, I'm just going to switch back to the 13 Pro. And the main reason that I never bought an S23, I had an Ultra for like a week to test out. S23, never bought it because I don't believe in what that phone sells, essentially. It has Wi-Fi 6E instead of Wi-Fi 7 like the Plus. Slower charging. The whole phone is less than it should be. For a flagship line, no.
Especially
That's
for a
not what it's-
Samsung.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be that way. Whatever they did with that phone, I never want to see them do it again. And honestly, screw Samsung for what they're doing to the normal line of phones. You look at the iPhone 15 and the 15 Plus, specs are identical besides screen size, battery.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the next topic? I don't feel like dealing with Samsungs anymore.
We're done. We have no more topics, and it's almost time for us to end recording.
Right?
Appears so. What time is it? 8:56.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
gotta eat dinner soon. But good stuff, you know?
As always, thank
I
you
love
all.
these episodes when we can actually be all together at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got
Hopefully we can
if
all
we
get
get
together next week when we'll have APR2K on.
You know, he's actually one of my best
will
friends.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll still be here. I'm not leaving until Friday.
You know, APR2K Aiden, he's actually one of my best friends.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we pretty much every night for a long while, we've been, FaceTiming at night,
That
just
must have
before we go
been
to
back
bed.
when you were.
Just,
That must have been after we first had him on.
I think that's how I met him.
Oh,
But yeah, we just talk about computers and stuff, and then, a lot of the times we just work on computers and whatnot. So he's a good guy, I'm glad to have him on the podcast again.
I don't know if I've met him or not.
You have not.
Okay, that's
But I've
what I
been
thought.
subscribed to his channel since 2020, so.
Yeah,
I'm
me
trying
and
to
him
keep track
are
of the
working
guests
on.
that I have met.
Me and him are working on a project right now that we will hopefully have out next week. But Alpha, I know you've met Jordan Riddles, I believe his name was.
Yep,
I
I've
think
spoken with him a couple times.
yeah, he's a nice guy. I think
Alpha met Mr. Maniac. He met.
Yep, I met him.
Also, I know as Apple Maniac YT. He met Emmett Tyron, I believe. He met. Who else did he meet?
Did I meet
I believe
Grant?
that's it. Oh, he met Elias.
Have I interacted with Grant before? Oh yeah,
oh
I met
yeah,
Elias
me, him,
too.
and Elias did a show.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah, we did
very
a
fun
show on this. Yeah, this was the show. You weren't here actually.
Yeah.
That was a very fun show.
Yeah.
But yeah. Besides that, I think we're all done here.
As always, thank you all for tuning into the season 4 premiere of TIFP. And as always, I'm Teddy Magger from the iTunes Fanboy.
HabbyCat406 now with 1,000 subscribers officially.
Yep. Congratulations. And my name is Alpha Duel from the Random
And as
Alpha.
always, we were saying peace out for now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See ya.